Хөрхөн охид trap сонсон. Trap сонсон, trap донсон. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Дагаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.
Hey, everybody, welcome to a brand new MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. We got a great show today. We got the Greg Romero Wilson in the house.
That's right, thank you, hey!
Yes, we got Weendawg.
What's up, dude?
We got CB Gold.
What's up?
We got Bob Sapp calling in. And Alexander Hernandez, who's on a 2-fight winning streak, just beat Beneil Dariush NOAM. So his first 2 UFC fights were killers, and he knocked out Beneil. I was there. That was brutal. So I can't wait to talk to that guy, because that guy's a up-and-coming superstar. Speedweed. Listen, people, if you live in California and you smoke weed, or you take CBD, or you take vape, I mean, CBD is so good for me, at least. I use it after workouts. I feel better. If I need to relax, just calm down. And the only place to go is speedweed.com. Follow them at Speedweed. Speedweed is the best. Okay, the guy Gino, he's a great guy. And if you mention Roasted, you get $10 off orders of $100 or more, and they deliver. Okay, don't get out of your car. Don't get into your car. Don't have to go to dispensaries now. Are like it's like Six Flags. I mean, you wait like for 6 hours to get marijuana now. It's insane. You gotta see people that you don't even like there. You gotta see like your people that fired you for smoking weed at one point. Okay, so go check them out. Speedweed.com. Also, if you drink coffee, Camara Coffee is the best coffee I've ever had in my life. It's got, I don't know what.
That's right, the Camara coffee.
I don't know what they're putting in this, but it's got nootropics, so I do know, and brain vitamins. It's from Dominican Republic. Tastes so good, and I focus. It's like liquid Adderall, but even better, except healthier, and it helps with nootropics, which are brain vitamins. It also could help prevent cancer. That's what I hear. So anyway,
or cause it, one or the other.
Yeah, all right. No, not cause
Definitely
it.
prevent.
So, all right. Things are good. My baby is officially 2 weeks old today.
Congratulations!
Thank
dude.
you.
Awesome. Beautiful baby.
She's so beautiful, and she's so innocent. It's just like people are just. You ever see people where you're just like, man, what happened along the way? Because like when you're born, you start to believe people are inherently good because she just has nothing in her that just.
You're right. They're without guile. They're just good people.
Yeah, all she wants to do is eat, and have my wife breastfeed, and then I hold her. She tries to suck on my tit, and I think that this is the beginning of people knowing or women knowing that men are going to let you down, because
there it is. I
have nothing to give her as far as milk goes, but she's adorable, and then she's smart, she's funny. I'm in love. I'm in love with my daughter, and she's just so. I don't even mind changing diapers. People complain about they made diapers. You know, like you see in the movies, like The Hangover, where the guy can't figure out a diaper or knocked up, or he duct tapes it together.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's so easy to change a diaper.
They've really mastered this now.
Yeah, and then also on the outside of the diaper, it's red, and when she pees, it turns blue. So you know she went to the bathroom or not.
Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah. And
wow, this is great. You don't even have to stick your finger down there no more.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
What, sticking your finger down there? Yeah, that's usually not a thing, actually. Yeah, especially when it comes to babies. But yeah, and then I don't even mind changing that. Right? I actually enjoy it because she's crying because babies all they do is cry. Like that's their only way of communicating. And they cry.
That's right.
They cry because they're hungry. They cry because they're cold. They cry because they don't know where they are. They're bored. They cry because they're overstimulated or they shit themselves or pee themselves. That's basically they're crying. And you have to figure out as a parent why are they crying. CB still cries. Isn't that why CB came from? Cry Baby Gold?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you cried a lot as a kid, right?
I mean, past kid, but yeah, let's be honest here.
Past kid? What do you mean, like up till you got engaged? Or?
I mean, I was crying that night too because I knew my life was over, but...
you're just emotional, man.
But when did you stop crying?
I don't know if there's a when. I mean,
You still cry?
I was crying on the way here because of fucking traffic, and I was pissed I was going to be late.
You weren't really crying?
No, not really.
But
I can imagine CB in his car crying.
But I mean, the fact that
I almost killed a few people.
Now who
I can see
coined?
there being rage tears.
But who coined the phrase CB Gold, like crybaby?
Well, Gold was just... easier than Goldberg.
Yeah.
Sure.
But my mom always called me crybaby, and I was just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna own this shit, turn it into CB, and it took off from there.
So your mom bullied you by calling? I mean,
No, my mom didn't bully me at all.
But
we
calling-
talk about other family members, but we don't have enough time on this show.
but calling you crybaby is
wrong
not a
show.
way. I mean, isn't that like negative?
Family therapy, Greg.
It's not therapy. This isn't a therapy show.
So you're crying all the time, and your mom gives you the nickname crybaby.
I mean, yeah, and what?
You know
more
what,
than
though?
her
I got a lot of love for that. I got a lot of receipts like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to own it. Yeah, CB Gold. I'm Crybaby Gold.
You should be called CB for Coke Baby.
You never give Coke to a baby.
That's a good point.
They don't enjoy it.
They just waste.
They just waste it. They blow it everywhere. You don't want to give Coke to a baby.
So anyway,
tried.
so parenting is fun. What's going on with
Well,
you,
you
Greg?
usually, I mean, what now?
What's going on with you?
Oh, I had great shows. The big boy shows were amazing out in Ontario. Those are fun. Although I did make some Coke jokes. And then when we're taking pictures at the end, big boy looks at me and goes, "Hey, man, you find that Coke?"
Really?
Yeah, it was funny. I didn't think he wanted any. He was just joking with me about talking about it
Is
on
that
stage.
how he got skinny?
No. I don't think so. I think yeah.
All right.
So that was awesome. Those are fun. And then Saturday night, the Down and Dirty
I was on it with you.
was a wild time. It was a
He
fun
doesn't
one.
remember.
I was there.
Yeah, I know.
But before that, you went to the Keith Sweat.
Yes, that's right. I went to the Keith Sweat concert. I saw Belle Biv DeVoe and En Vogue. And Vogue was great.
Really?
They were really awesome. They were fucking great. And Belle Biv DeVoe it was so funny because it was like they just decided to still do the exact same moves. They did they didn't bother. They didn't want to learn new moves. Like, we still know those old moves, right? So they just but like a half a beat slower.
Oh, okay.
But generally they were really on it. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm surprised they're not hurting themselves doing
Dude,
this
that's
shit.
New Edition.
Dude, but
And
they
that's
fucking
those
killed
are
it.
Those are the kids from New Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would they want to learn new moves anyways? You got stupid moves now, like the whip and the nay-nay and the do the Dougie and the
I would just
stanky
imagine
leg.
you just want to do less.
I don't
But they
know,
were fucking giving it, man.
practice
They
those
did a
moves 10
fucking hell of a show.
They practice those moves 10 billion times.
That's like, they knew him so well. They probably got together. It's like this. Yeah, that's it. And that's it. They were doing it. You could tell it was so second nature for them to do those fucking moves.
Well, Saturday night, before I saw you at the Down and Dirty show, which was a lot of fun, they hired me to do a wedding, right? I'm at the dime bar, and this lady goes, "Hey, you want to perform at my wedding?" And I gave her some, I really didn't, but I gave her some ridiculous quote, and she was like, "Sure." And I was like, "Oh, God, okay." All
Right. That's always how you get out of it. Like, if you were to actually pay me this money, I'd show up. But no one's going to pay me this.
So
and then
I go there, and it's a Cirque du Soleil theme, right? So I got to follow. So I have to. It's like the carnival outside. I go in there. I have to follow a juggler, a shirtless juggler who looked like Sage Northcutt juggling, followed by a hula hoop dancer, followed by an Asian girl that was standing on a chair doing the splits. I mean, and then followed by some kind of weird Romanian couple, and then let's do comedy afterwards.
Yeah.
And the bride was pregnant. She was like, very showing. She was
white?
like, the what?
With white people?
Yeah,
That's
yes.
some white people shit right there to have
yeah,
a circus.
but also, wait a minute, was it a second wedding?
No, I don't know, but
That's what I said. That's some second marriage shit right there. That
really,
isn't-
I feel like a second marriage, like courthouse.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, if you can do weird shit, I feel like that's going to be, you know what I mean?
But I
It
ended up
just means
killing.
one of them's got money.
I ended up killing. If it was going so well that I'm like, I got to put this on Facebook Live or whatever. So I handed it to some old guy in the front. And then he's like, at the end, I'm like, I can't wait to see the comments. And he didn't press record, of course. So now I was beating myself up because I
Second
wanted
you said some old guy, I was like, this isn't
Yeah,
going to work.
this no.
Yeah, but
You
it was,
should have handed it to like an Asian 13-year-old. you would have gotten it back with effects.
The best production.
Right. Oh my God.
value
Lighting.
ever.
So much shit would have happened. It would have been remarkable.
that's very true.
It would have been Fast and the Furious, the comedy wedding.
And
I saw this weird thing recently on a video that a couple got married, and for their first dance, they started to dance, and like 3 seconds in, they stopped. They did like the high five and the pound it, and then just started rolling together.
rolling like jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. They were doing jiu-jitsu. I'm like, you just paid like $5,000 for a dress. What the fuck are you doing?
Did the guy tap her?
No, I think she
I'm sure he did at some point.
Well, yeah.
I think she won that one.
Come on.
Yeah.
Really?
Choreographed.
Yeah,
Probably,
Well, maybe
but-
not. I don't know. Sometimes girls are really good at jiu-jitsu because they have to know technique, and it's hard sometimes rolling with a girl because they're like, you don't use strength and power. You don't want to just like bully the person.
And according to you, there's no fucking boner timeouts.
No boner timeouts, and then you're going like 30% or 40%, and then they're like, then they can catch you.
Yeah.
because that's it's just
Because
hard.
you're trying to take it easy on him.
So Weendawg, what's going on with you?
I ain't gonna lie, I've been losing a lot of sleep lately these past few nights.
Why?
I discovered this new kind of porno. I never seen anything like this, dude.
We should have let off with him.
All right, go on. What's the kind of porno?
So what it is, it's POV, which I know all my porno is POV.
That's new to you?
Point of
Really?
view. Yeah, it's not like the concept.
But that's
just like,
all you watch is POV?
Yeah, that's all I
It's
watch.
weird when a guy gets sold out to one thing.
Yeah, I
You
like
know?
POV though because I can pretend it's my penis.
That's what I was
Right.
gonna say.
But that's why I can't-
But I don't stick to POV.
That's why I can't watch black POV because I'm like, this is not realistic. All right, go on.
Yeah.
So you can't watch porn.
So the whole concept is like it's a dude and he's creeping around in a house. Maybe he's like a burglar or something. It's the middle of the night. And he goes into this lady's room and she's dead asleep, right?
Right.
And he's like sort of standing over her with the camera and he's like brushing her hair and stuff. And he's like squeezing her ass.
Yep.
But she's dead asleep. She
This
doesn't
sounds
know.
like rape.
This is so
sounds like
super
rape.
creepy, bro.
All right, go on.
But I can see, I mean, it kind
All
of
right, so what
turning
happens?
me on. Keep going.
Yeah, so she's asleep. She doesn't feel him or anything. You can hear him breathing a little bit. That's the creepy part right there.
That's not
You
him,
can
it's
hear
me.
breathing. And then, she has like the silk nightgown where there's like no panties under.
Yeah.
So he like slips up her nightgown and starts to play with her vagina.
Yeah,
And-
vagina?
Yeah, the
Vagina.
vagina, I mean.
Okay, there's no
Nothing would be finer than to slip in her vagina in the morning.
there's no R in vagina, but go on.
But yeah, it's basically.
But there is one in rape.
It's
All
just
right, go on.
like it's called sleeping porn or something like that.
Sleeping
I don't know.
porn? Yes.
Yeah, like when he
What are
he
you
bangs
searching?
Her.
What are you when you?
You
get
just
to the
said
website?
sleeping porn.
Okay.
POV.
Those are the keywords?
POV sleeping in an ass.
Okay. All right.
And then but the thing is, like, he'll end up banging the girl, and then she'll pretend like she's sleeping the entire time.
Does she ever wake up?
No, she never wakes
is-
up.
Dead.
Is she
Do
dead?
you ever just search like random nouns?
Do you ever search like just regular like guy and girl having sex? All right. Okay. So then what happens? So this turns you on?
Yeah,
Okay. So you're into sleeping porn?
yeah. I mean, more specifically, like MILF sleeping, because like it's. Oh, sorry, Greg. It's too much.
Totally, that's
All
so
right, go on.
creepy, bro.
Go on.
Now's not the time for this.
It's more believable if it's like a MILF. I
Why?
don't know.
Or old people because they're probably maybe dead.
Yeah, exactly. We know
Yeah.
because they're older, you know. It's
Right.
like, I
They
can
sleep
see
real
my-
hard.
So
I
this
can
is what
see
you've
my
been
mom doing
masturbating
that.
to? Sleeping porn?
Yeah.
Did you just say you could see your mom doing that?
Wait, you can see your mom
the
doing what?
fuck is wrong with you? Or did you see your mom
No,
doing
no,
that?
like sleeping through.
You know, sometimes when I
Waking up.
watch MILF porn, I think to myself, somewhere out there's some kid that might be like, huh? Like one, like there's got to be, like
Wait,
somewhere.
you can picture your mom doing this?
Not like in the porn, but like sleeping through something like
Through sex.
traumatic, like.
Okay, and then what's going on with
sleeping through
We
something
kind
like
of have the
that.
premise though that he did have sex with a knocked out heroin addict. So
Right.
that could be where
Allegedly,
it's
yeah.
Thanks,
yeah.
CB. I think you've been trumped by the most creepiest person ever on this podcast.
from. I'm a little jealous now because I was trying to keep that reputation going as long as possible.
Dude, you're not
You
even.
got engaged. You basically didn't defend your title.
Yeah.
I
You,
gave away my life,
you vacated
dude.
your title, and Weendawg was more than happy to
Why-
slither right in.
Watch sleeping porn. Now,
Well,
what's
it's gonna
going
be
on now? The girlfriend, does she still have brain damage?
No, she's still with me, dude. She might have brain damage. She's still with me.
All right,
But
go
these
on.
are
Isn't
good
she
to girls.
always just dating him?
All right,
Can
go
we
on.
stop 1 second? That reminds me. This motherfucker, Adam, we're at the show. Okay. So there's this couple that comes in, and they sit down, and they clearly are not having a good time. Like before the show even starts, they're in a bad mood. They're like, this is a bad idea. Like they just have these incredibly negative vibes. But I'm the type of person, because I'm the host, I'm like, I'm just going to work around them. Hopefully they just warm up with everybody else laughing. So I tried to talk to them for a second, and they were just so turned off. And again, if you're not in the mood for comedy, why the fuck are you at a comedy
Why
club?
are you there?
Yeah, like
At 11 o'clock at night.
and like this is such a deliberate choice.
Yeah.
It made no sense. But they're both sitting there like, fuck. And I'm like, again, just go. But I didn't want to say that. So I'm working around them. I'm trying to be nice. Adam gets up and just fucking attacks the shit. I'm like, what the fuck is you guys' problem? So did you come from a funeral? Somebody's mother died? What do you guys? Just fucking goes Adam, and I'm dying.
It looks like they just broke up.
Don't,
Like, they
yeah, dude,
just
who cheated
broke
on
up.
her? Are you guys trying to get back? Yeah. I mean, he just fucking murdered him. And I was dying. I was like, well, this is what they fucking get. I'm glad
He was
fucking
laughing.
did.
He started to laugh.
Yeah, it broke him down finally a
9
little bit,
minutes
but not
in.
her.
But
And-
it was almost like they also hated white people. Like there was, I think there was some racism. It was almost like they were like, oh shit, now we got to get white comics.
Maybe,
there was
and they-
Where the fuck do you think you are in North Hollywood on a Saturday night?
It
Well,
was
it's all
so-
I mean, we don't have black comics. They have a lot of black comics. I don't know if
I don't know, but it was almost like they went to the wrong comedy club.
Yeah.
and they were expecting something else. It was just,
It was very weird.
it was just
You
bad.
definitely don't get lost and end up at a comedy show.
And
Yeah.
then after Adam fucking beat up on them forever, and they were still like miserable, they stayed for like 3 more comics, 4 more, like till before the very last one. And then they finally left, and then I was like, guys, they left. Oh,
I've had so many shows like that where this person just hates me from the get-go, stays doing a 45-minute set, stays till 42 minutes in, then goes, I'm leaving, and then the whole crowd applauds when they leave. It's like,
Totally
but
like,
why
just
stay for
go.
40? If I'm in a movie and I'm like, oh shit, I wanted to go see Die Hard, but now I'm watching, Steel Magnolias for some reason, I'm gonna leave. As soon as I realize the credits is Steel Magnolias, I'm not gonna go, oh, when does the murdering start? When does he start jumping out of a,
I was doing a comedy club one time in the South in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
And it was the late show on Saturday night, and a group of like 10 old white ladies came in. Like they'd been out having fondue or something, and they're like, what about what if we do a comedy club? And they come in, and I'm doing, at that point, I didn't even have clean material. I didn't have an early show set. It was always filthy.
Yeah.
And at late show, it's super filthy. So I was just going in, and everything I said, it was,
I did a cruise ship.
Well, wait a minute. Finally, I stopped the show and I go, you know what, ladies? Listen, this is clearly not the comedy show you thought it was going to be. You're welcome to leave. You don't have to stay.
Yeah.
And they go, are you kicking us out?
Oh.
And I said, no, you are more than
they want their
welcome
money
to
back.
stay. But it seems like you're not having fun.
Yeah.
And if you're not, I'm just saying you don't have to stay. If you want to leave, you can leave.
Yeah.
And they all got up and left, but then they demanded their money back, and I got in a bunch of trouble with the club.
Yeah, I did it one time. I did a cruise, and it was a Christian. It was a Christian group on the cruise, and then they were like, "Hey, just so you," they were warning them, "This is a very dirty show." Like, "Oh, we like dirty jokes," And
They
then,
always think they do, like when they're like, attack me, and then you do, and they're like, oh, it's like
2 minutes into the set, it was like a mass exodus. It was like, you would have thought that like Satan showed up himself. It was like, hey, welcome. So Weendawg, do you still have the girlfriend? Have you guys had sex yet?
Dude,
What's going on?
This is the longest relationship I've ever been in my entire life. I've
And
actually
the
never
only-
even been in a relationship. I've been on dates. I've banged a bunch of whores, but.
And
Why
I'm
would
proud of
you
you for that.
discredit
I'm proud of you for
yourself?
that.
I'm proud of
That's what you're
myself,
supposed to do.
Yeah, because I'm young.
Exactly.
I'd feel bad if I was only in one relationship for my entire life.
You're exactly right, because those girls train you. Each one teaches you something. You know what I mean? Yeah. You learn something. In fact, I used to break up and get back together with this one gal, and she goes, it's great. Every time we get back together, you've learned something new from somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, let's talk about some of the fights over the weekend. Bellator, look, I called it from the get-go. I said Darian Caldwell is the real deal. This guy's going to be a champion. I watched him wrestle in high school and college, not high school, college, and beat Brett Metcalf. Now he's not only the 135-pound champion, he might even be the 145-pound and after two more fights, if he fights Pitbull. Dude is the truth. And the sad part is that he could walk into any McDonald's and no one would recognize him. He's the most underappreciated champion in all sports. I believe it. Darian Caldwell, he's the man. And his wrestling is, I think he would give TJ Dillashaw a real problem. I honestly think.
And that does raise a question. At what point does the UFC try to poach him? Do you think he would go to the UFC if they tried to poach him? Or does he try and be like, the Bellator brand, champion?
Like a Michael Chandler.
Yeah.
Well, they got to stop. I mean,
Michael Venom Page.
They got to put him on. Well, neither of those guys are the champions, but they got to put him on. I mean, they always have him in Thackerville, Oklahoma, and they don't really promote him that well. And I don't know, but I just know that the dude is insanely good. I mean, he lost one fight where he was killing that guy from Guam against Joe, and he took a bad shot and got choked.
If you were him and the UFC came calling, would you vacate and go over there?
I think it's a money question.
Yeah.
I think it's
look
all
at, look at guys like Justin Gaethje and Marlon Moraes. They didn't want to come over because they were making $160K a fight in WSOF, which is like 10 times as much as everybody else on the roster. And then finally, when it's like, all right, there's no more land to walk through, okay, I'm going to move over and see if I can hang in the biggest promotion in the world.
I mean, it didn't work for Will Brooks. It worked for Eddie Alvarez. He came over, became a champion quickly. It works for some guys. Doesn't work for others. I mean, Anthony Johnson was a guy that got cut, came back, and just was running things for a while.
Shop,
yeah, it's it doesn't work for everybody. But I don't know. But I'll tell you what also happened over the weekend was the Irish kid,
James
Gallagher.
James Gallagher,
Ricky
who
Bandejas.
look, I like James Gallagher, but he's a great submission jiu-jitsu, I think a prodigy, but that doesn't necessarily translate to your hands. And he went in there super cocky, super arrogant, talking all this smack, and Conor McGregor paved the way, and he's like, I'm the next Conor McGregor, and they're in the same camp, and he was on SportsCenter That's how bad the knockout was,
pieced
Greg.
up,
Wow.
bro. He
I
got
mean-
pieced up. Sweet Chin Music.
I mean, he was a meme, and then he went on Instagram.
That really is. If you become a meme, man, you fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. Anyone could wind up a meme.
But
you know?
he's 21 years old. He's still got a long history. He just needs to go back to the basics, which I don't care how good you think you are. Having your hands down and talking shit during a fight is
And
not a
then
good way to
getting
win.
Stone Cold knocked the fuck out.
With a fucking kick. But the guy he fought was 10-1. Trains with Frankie Edgar. Trains with Zabit. Trains with those killers over in New Jersey. He was not. I mean, 10-1. I think he lost split decision.
This was his Bellator debut, too.
He was.
They threw him in there as like a sacrificial lamb to Gallagher, and
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
fuck.
You gotta love that.
Yeah, you gotta love that.
Ricky
But-
Bandejas has a bright future, and fortunately for him, unfortunate for Gallagher, this is going to be a highlight reel that's shown in his pre-package forever.
Well, and then people are saying like Ariel Helwani. People are saying Ariel Helwani like, oh, this is a good thing. You wouldn't be talking about him if you hadn't talked all that shit, and he's gonna make more money now that he got knocked out. But
No, that's not true.
you got to come back. I mean,
Yeah.
that 0 on your record looks really good. It looks really good.
And he was picking and choosing fights too, because for about 2 years now, we talked about AJ McKee, and I spoke to him about it. We spoke to Bubba about it. And was like, you want this kid? And they're like, hell yeah, but he won't take the fight. And I think he took this as like, I'm going to kill this kid and move my way up towards the title shot. But if I'm not mistaken, it was a different weight class for him.
Yeah, he went up. Oh, I think he went down.
I think he went down to 135. He's normally a 45er. But, if you go down, you're the bigger guy, and you're undefeated. It was a bigger challenge for Caldwell to go up than it was for Gallagher to go down, because the biggest challenge at that point is the weight cut.
Yeah.
So he got pieced up, and Shawn Michaels was happy because it was Sweet Chin Music.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Speaking of which, what do you think of Ronda Rousey being the WWE champion?
I knew it was going to happen.
Why
Sunday-
did you see the script in advance?
No, it's just, this SummerSlam is the second biggest event of WWE's for the year. They need her as the brand specialist because Brock's on his way out. Brock lost the belt on Sunday, scripted or not.
Were you crying when that happened?
I wasn't. I knew it was coming. I knew Roman Reigns was going to beat him. I pretty much predicted the entire show. The best part of the day, honestly, was hanging out with Demolition. But
Why were you hanging out with Demolition?
because they were doing a signing at the viewing party that we went to, so I got to hang out with them for a little bit, ask them some
Did
questions.
they know they were hanging out with you?
Smash knew he was there. Axe.
Wait,
Axe wasn't so sure.
Wait, they were there to sign stuff, and you took a picture with them.
Yeah, because my friend had all his figures to get signed. I didn't have anything.
Does that
to get
count as
signed.
hanging out, CB?
Well, no. After the signing, they sat at the tables and was hanging out with like all the fans.
That's nice of
watching
them.
SummerSlam. Yeah, it was really cool. They're gonna do that every month with different wrestlers for different pay-per-views. But Demolition was super cool. But
They were my favorite though. Back in the day, Demolition.
Oh, yeah?
Here comes the axe. Here comes the smasher. The Demolition.
I just can't get into it,
You know
man.
what's fucking
When
hilarious?
I was
though?
11, that was the fucking coolest thing ever. I mean, CB's 50. It's a little strange, but fucking like.
But you know what's the best part about like what you just saying was they had like a contest of like who could do the best Demolition impression with the entrance theme, and this guy goes on, he's like, yeah, I'm the biggest Demolition fan, I know their theme song, and he started to sing it, and he first off got the first line wrong.
Here comes the axe?
He goes, here comes the axe, here comes the smash.
Yeah.
Didn't say smasher.
Oh.
And then forgot the rest, so he just kept going. Here comes the axe, here comes the smash, here comes the I'm like, you're the biggest Demolition fan.
Do you know the words?
I know the first four.
It's entirely possible he got nervous. That shit happens. It's called stage fright. If you're not a professional entertainer,
I was just
pretty
laughing
powerful
because
force of
You
nature.
were laughing, really?
It was amateur hour.
Here
in
comes
there.
the smash. People freeze up. I mean, things that you know backwards and forwards your whole life. Anyone could ask you, the spotlight, eyeballs, and everything just shoots out of your brain,
Yeah.
man.
That happened one time when I was with a girl. This girl, I got her number. This fucking hot chick back in Westwood, the Westwood days, right?
Yes.
And then I got her number. I was talking to her all week at the brewing company, and then she was like in college, 21, like short, blonde hair, this little thing.
Yeah.
And then Simon Rex comes to the show, Dirt Nasty. He's like, "Hey, want to smoke some weed?" So I smoke weed, and then this girl keeps smiling at me, and I go up to her. I'm like, "Hey, can I get your number?" And she goes, "You've been calling me all week."
Oh man, idiot!
There was no coming back from that.
You fucking blew.
And I was like, oh, well, at least I'm consistent. Nothing. It
Nothing.
was
You
bad.
blew. Oh my god!
Yeah.
How did you fuck that? That's brutal.
I was pretty high.
You must have been, yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean,
So, all right. So, Demolition, you were hanging out with him.
Yeah, Ronda is the champion. I'm not a huge fan, but they need it for the brand.
Is she a good wrestler?
Not yet.
Not yet.
She's using a lot of judo. Her armbar finisher is not the straight armbar. She almost gets like a key lock and then twist it this way.
Yeah.
But like, I think what they're trying to set up is, do you remember the Stone Cold Vince McMahon days where like that was the biggest feud
Yeah.
in WWE? Like
Yeah.
everybody wanted, it was like the biggest name versus the boss.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to set that up because on Raw last night.
Her versus who?
Stephanie McMahon. Because on Raw last night, they did a thing where Stephanie brought out the entire women's roster of the Raw brand and was going to honor Ronda. And then Stephanie goes, you know, she's crazy and she's going to rip all your arms out and none of you have a chance. And Ronda gets on the mic and goes, you know what? I respect every girl standing around here and, you know, I'll give all of them a shot.
All right, we're going to summarize this story in one
I'm
sentence.
finishing.
Okay.
I'm a fighting champion, but Stephanie, you deserve it more than anything. And she hit those two like over the shoulder arm throws, and then armbarred Stephanie.
Ooh.
And none of the girls came to help.
Oh.
So I think that's what they're trying to set up with
Now-
that whole thing.
you
Especially
think?
with Brock leaving, they need somebody that's super, super recognizable, and she's got a hell of a following.
Yeah, she
But
does.
I'm not in agreement that she deserves the belt, and she's very green as a wrestler.
Did you see how deflated Brock Lesnar looked now that
Oh,
he's
yeah.
apparently off the PEDs?
He's going to get
I'm
killed.
sure he does,
Cormier's
yeah.
going to destroy him in one round.
You think so? One round?
Yeah, he's going to knock. Brock can't take a punch. I mean, do you remember when Brock got hit by Cain Velasquez? and
yes,
started
but if
breakdancing?
Brock hits you first,
But he doesn't hit that hard either. Brock
Yeah,
doesn't-
he does.
No, he doesn't. Who's he ever knocked
doesn't.
out cold? Nobody.
He has TKOs.
He knocked Randy Couture down and sort of pounding
He
on
has
him.
TKOs.
But he's never knocked anyone out. He doesn't even know how to really turn his punches.
who was that? What was that guy that he lost to, and then he came back and pinned him and beat his face?
Frank
forever?
Mir.
Frank Mir. That was one of the best face poundings in the history.
That
of
was
the UFC.
unbelievable.
Frank Mir
But
took
even
two
I
that,
can't believe they
in a
didn't
row.
stop the fight. It was so fucking weird.
I was watching it with my dad when my dad didn't even know MMA, and the guy's like, after the first round, he's like, yeah, this guy's doing good. He's like-
Face looked
Every
like
time I watch
hamburger
any
meat.
fight
That
with
was
my
rough.
dad tells me how Sugar Ray Robinson would have beaten everybody. So that's a real fighter. These guys, Sugar Ray Robinson. My dad, this guy's a heavyweight. I don't care. Sugar Ray Robinson would have
It's like
beaten.
the guys that Coming to America.
My
yeah.
only issue with that is it's getting a little ridiculous.
What?
Like Gervonta Davis calling out TJ Dillashaw saying, I'll knock you out in a round. I'm like, in an MMA
No, he won't.
fight. And I'm like, no, you're not, dude. TJ will either take you down and submit you in seconds, or he's going to throw a head kick that you're not ready
But
for.
Gervonta Davis in a boxing match would murder.
Yeah, in a boxing, but he says, I'm coming to MMA to take
no,
on
he's
TJ
not.
Dillashaw.
I don't know why people say that.
I don't think he is either. And it's like, and you know as well as anybody, you can train wrestling or jiu-jitsu or whatever for as many weeks as you want. But these guys that have been conditioned
Oh,
to
no,
all facets of fighting,
he's all-American,
they're-
TJ.
I'm saying,
Yeah.
so these guys that have done every facet of MMA their entire lives, they're not going to lose to boxers. The other way around, we've seen it. But boxers to MMA, the game is too one-sided.
Did you see the YouTube fight that's happening?
Oh, who is it now?
Logan
There's like
Paul.
2 YouTube fights.
Logan Paul is fighting.
got a fight?
He's fighting KSI in the O2 Arena. This comic was telling me it's going to do bigger numbers than Mayweather versus McGregor.
And how high was this comic when
He was
told you
telling me
this?
because it's like $9 to order it, and
So that number, it's not money. That number
but
is
they've
the
got
number of
millions of. But there's so many fans of like all the gamers, all the Twitch fans,
No,
all
it's
that.
kids. It's 90% kids.
Yeah.
That are fans of these dudes. It's
Yeah.
Logan
My
and Jake
nephews
Paul.
are huge fans of Jake Paul. They're almost 11, and like Jake Paul is like their idol.
What does he do?
Nothing.
He
Vlogs.
doesn't. He just does vlogs and YouTube videos. Logan Paul kind of lost his following when he took the video.
Is Jake
of the
Paul his
dead-
brother?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
right.
yeah, they're both fighting. They're both-
But
Yeah.
Logan lost his following when he took the video in Japan of the dead guy hanging from the
Right.
tree.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like outraged and just left. So now he's got to find a different
Yeah.
avenue to do things. But Jake Paul, I mean, that guy's got tens of millions of subscribers
Yeah.
and followers on YouTube, and it's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah. By the way, shout out to my friend David Michaud.
He won the week.
He won. Yeah, he knocked it out. David is from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, a Native American, and lives on the reservation. Well, now he does part-time. He's an awesome dude, and I love that guy.
Was this his Bellator debut?
Yeah, you ever hang out with Native Americans?
Yeah, a couple times. But the ones I hung out with mostly were in Alaska.
Oh, really?
So, which is interesting because there are Native Americans and there's quote unquote Eskimos, but you're not supposed to call them Eskimos or something like that.
Not Eskimos, yeah.
Yeah, and so, but there's also like Yupik Indians, Native Americans rather, and so, they're very interesting, cool, relatively
fun.
mellow people.
Yeah. They love comedy.
Yeah, but they don't show a lot of emotion.
No.
Yeah, they never get to. You're never going to see them like they're just they smile and nod.
No, but they love comedy.
The joke was funny.
I laughed inside.
And then over the weekend, PFL, Ray Cooper won in 18 seconds.
That guy's a fucking murderer.
Yeah, he knocked out Jake Shields. Now he knocked out Pavel Kush. Kayla Harrison, I'm telling you, this girl is a 2-time gold medalist in judo. Came on the podcast, super sweet. Got molested by her judo coach. And then wrote a book about it and put the guy behind bars. Good, which is a good thing.
Is that her next matchup in Bellator?
She's a badass. She
wants
won.
to move up now.
To what?
She wants to move up a weight class. She's at 35 now.
45.
Right? I think she wants to move up to 50.
Do you have to mention the story? I mean, it's so odd. You said it like it's one of her credits.
No, but she's overcome a lot of bullshit, a lot of horrible things.
It's so weird. There's such a, you know what I mean? She used to fight in UFL. She was molested by her coach. She wears a size 8 blouse. What the fuck? That's so weird. You could leave that part out, I think.
Just saying she's overcome a lot.
Okay, good for her.
Also
That's all.
But I'm sure she doesn't want everyone to mention it.
It's in her bio.
That may be in her bio, but I don't think that's what,
No, on Twitter, she's like, it's all about, she's a public speaker. She goes around stopping other assholes from doing stuff like that.
No, and I think that's great, but I'm just saying it's weird.
Whatever. Maybe I could have fucking phrased it a little different, you jerk. All right?
She's 13-0, 0-1 against her coach. Fuck, man.
That's on the screen.
0-9 versus her coach.
Move of the fight, protect your crotch.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right,
See,
now that's the no comedy experience. All right.
Just don't put a finger in there.
Anyway.
PFL's been pretty awesome. I'm
It is.
pretty satisfied with their product.
I'm very
man.
satisfied. They need to actually take some of that $1 million and put it into a commercial, or letting anyone know that it's on.
I mean, look at a guy like.
It is on, or is it only online?
No, it's on Facebook Live, the undercard.
Okay.
And they have Eve Edwards and Randy Couture and Boz Rutan as commentators. Then it goes live. The fights have been awesome, and you see now.
Goes live on just pay-per-view?
No,
or?
NBC Sports.
Oh, okay.
But
NBC
you see
Sports.
guys that have you see the difference, like Vinny Magalish,
I was gonna say
who was
Vinny.
7-7, but now there's $1 million in the line. He's knocking everyone out in one
undefeated,
round.
yeah.
He's fucking
He's the
murdering.
highest
But that's the thing is you're like, they should invest in commercial. NBC should invest in some promos. Why aren't they throwing it on
Their
regular
promos.
NBC?
Well, Kevin Hart invested $32 million in it. Kevin Hart,
Good.
What's his name? Tony Robbins, and somebody else are new investors in it.
Good. They need
So-
they need to get NBC to fucking give them some promo time on
We
on
should
main
be
NBC.
part of it. We should be part of it.
Call them up.
I'm trying to.
Well, at least they did a different TV schedule than what WSOF was doing.
Oh, that was the worst. It was on Thanksgiving night or
New
New Year's Eve or during the Super Bowl.
One of the cheapest available hours
was
of television.
literally
They had a
their
deal where
ratings
if there was an
were terrible.
earthquake, they would air it during the earthquake.
We're up against breaking live coverage.
Anytime there was a missile heading toward the U.S.,
It's game
time
7.
for Jake Shields versus.
Game 7 of the NBA Finals.
It was ridiculous. It was insane. It was fucking insane.
Hey, you know how Hannibal Buress he's a sponsor of Invicta?
Yes.
So he has a picture of his face on the cage.
Yeah, I think he wants girls sitting on his face.
How much does that cost? Because let's do that. Let's get CB's face
Well,
on one of the rings.
Do you want any girl to actually fight? If they have to look at
It doesn't have to be
CB's.
Invicta. It could be PFL,
I'd be undefeated.
Yeah.
Bellator.
Well,
UFC.
the Lingerie Fighting League wants to do a thing with us. But it's actually
and how are we not jumping on that?
it's not real fighting though. It's like
I know we're asking for real fighting. We're asking for real lingerie.
Craig's like, we're not. I can't pay rent for the
They did
next
this-
year.
they-
We
I
need to
sponsor
be
lingerie.
side by side, commentating, ringside lingerie league. Comment. What is wrong with you?
Greg would be the owner of the company.
Call them right now on this podcast. I want everyone to hear this conversation. I want to call them and tell them we want in.
Greg would own the company, be sitting cage side for every fight, and yelling, "Come on, where's the mid-fight finger bang?"
That's right. I'd have a boner tent. Like a tent that I could just set up around me and just like
When I was in high school, at boarding school, we started doing like push-ups. You could do boner push-ups. You never do that? You have a boner and you just move it like a push-up.
Oh, okay, right, yeah.
We called them boner push-ups. So in class, we'd have competitions who could do the most boner push-ups. So all of a sudden, someone would yell out, 27! And like,
Who's judging this or counting, though?
Yeah, I know. Were you verifying the scores?
no. You kind of
Would they have it? Would you hold your hand like level, and they'd have to tap your hand, and each
Like
tap
you
would
do the sit-up and,
totally
like,
exactly.
punch and
You gotta bring it up. If it doesn't tap my hand, it doesn't count. You gotta tap my hand,
Dude, there was a thing called the
and that
atomic.
was how he
you ever
became
hear
state champion.
You ever hear the atomic setup?
Huh?
Have you heard the atomic setup? Kids in my dorm.
No.
I've
I've heard of atomic wings.
I went to the school where like the worst kids from your town got sent there, like to this school, but they were like a lot of them had money, so it was even worse. So they'd be like, "Hey, I bet you can't do an atomic sit-up, right?" And then some kid would be like, "Yeah, I could do it," because every kid. So then they would lie down and then they put a towel over their head, right?
Blindfold, yeah.
And then some kid stands over them and pulls his pants down, right? So then you do a sit-up into the guy's asshole, right? So you remove the towel and you do a sit-up. So of course, some kid like runs away after that happens to him. He's like, "I'm out of here." Like, of course, horrified.
It's embarrassing.
It's
Yeah.
like his first day of school, and he's got his nose in some
Ate
guy's
some fucking
asshole.
ass, yeah.
Yeah, and then they had to they had to tell the principal, explain to them like. the
Now, when you
headmaster-
say some guy, was that guy's named Adam Hunter?
no, I didn't. I didn't fall for the old atomic sit-up trick. It was my asshole. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the kid ran away, and then the kids had to tell the dean of students what an atomic sit-up was and explain to them. That and hanging the brain. You ever hear about that?
Yeah.
You take your balls out and you put your brain. So it's like looks like
Yeah,
brains are
yeah,
coming out of
yeah.
your pants. So somebody at a school meeting stood up and goes, "There's no hanging the brain during school meetings." While hanging the brain.
Like in the movie Waiting, when they had the 5 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How'd you get the beans above the Franks? Remember that from Something About Mary? What are we? I'm looking at most of beans above the Franks.
Yeah.
I think a little of both. How'd you get the beans above the Franks?
How many?
Dude,
boner-
when
how
they
many
showed
boner
that,
push-ups can you do?
that was one of.
Weendawg?
That was
What's
what,
that?
Keith David?
What?
The father in Something About Mary.
Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's one of those moments. To me, that's one of the greatest comedy reveals of all time because they talk about it for so long. You think they're not gonna show it, and then boom, right in your fucking face. I howled, legitimately howled in the theater when they showed
My
it.
sister took me to the movie the year when it came out, and I was pretty young, and we're watching it, and every scene, my sister is slumping lower and lower in her chair of like, how the fuck did I bring my little brother to see this movie?
Well, waiting.
No,
Oh.
Something About
Something About
Mary.
Mary.
Movie, yeah,
Like the
yeah.
old lady with her tits out, and
Oh,
then
you're
the
right.
beans above the frame, and like she is just slumping.
It was a good movie, but the
over.
problem with that movie was that the previews, everyone's like the funniest movie of all time, and then you go
Right,
see
built
it,
up a
and
little too much.
Too much, yeah.
Dude, I thought it was just hysterical.
I thought it was
brilliant
great.
comedy.
I mean, Chris Elliott. I used to like him on Get a Life.
it was just weird watching him scratch, but having to avoid the actual blisters because he'd probably actually take them off. And it was all they wanted consistent makeup work.
So yesterday, Gray Maynard is fighting Nick Lentz, UFC 229.
Hey,
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even see that.
I like Lentz in that fight. I like Maynard, but
I love Maynard, but
isn't Maynard pretty old now?
it's been
Yeah.
a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say also UFC 29. Like,
Wasn't it- is-
and I think it's now hair, gray-haired Maynard.
yeah,
He fought Ryan Hall, and then he had what? One.
That Rand Hall. I was at that fight. That was
So
horrible.
was I. I was yelling MMA Roasted from the rafters.
That was the word. That looked like the guy who always goes for the heel hook every 3 seconds. And
He like flipped on his back like a monkey from standing. And
it
just
looked
tried to
like you were
grab it.
playing a video game and you kept playing you didn't first time ever playing, you're just pressing all the buttons and the guy just keeps doing the same shitty move.
Like Eddie Gordo in Tekken when he just did the one breakdancing move and then everybody spammed it.
Sure. Also, let's see. What else happened? Chandler wants to finish his fight with Alvarez. Michael Chandler versus Alvarez. But they're saying Chandler's a free agent. So
Yes.
either he goes to the UFC or Alvarez goes back to Bellator. Do you want to see that? The third one? The first two were epic. I don't know. You can't top the first two.
It's been a long time.
It's kind of like, is anyone excited for Rampage versus Vanderlei 4?
No.
I'm going to that, and I'm not excited about it. San Jose.
Why are you going that?
I'm going to go up there for the fights. It's the beginning of the welterweight Grand Prix.
Oh.
It's Vanderlei's last fight also.
Really?
Supposedly he's retiring.
Come on.
It's the first fight of the senior tour.
Yeah.
It's sponsored by AARP.
Yeah, seriously.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, they started the walk to the cage yesterday. Just, I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
Yoel Romero's out of 230.
Is he? Why?
He had eye surgery for his broken orbital from the Whitaker fight.
Oh, wow.
And the doctor said he needs 4 to 5 months more to heal, so he's not fighting Bohachinia at UFC 230.
Oh, that sucks. That fight was fucking going to be fireworks.
That fight was going to be crazy. Did you see the video over the weekend of the dude that had the Darce choke?
Oh, yeah. And they didn't let go. Yeah, the
ref's just standing there looking.
Yeah.
You could have killed that guy. It was literally a minute and a half that he was out cold. And the ref is literally standing over him right here. And it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So Aljamain Sterling's upset. I guess word is that he says that that they're not offering him a lot of money for his fights. And then Artem Lavov is fighting on the undercard. Yeah.
This weekend?
No, he's fighting on the undercard of McGregor, Khabib.
Of course he is.
Against one of Khabib's boys.
I'm surprised he's not headlining. That's the funniest MMA meme of all time. How Artem is like the GOAT.
I like that guy though. He happens to be a pretty cool guy.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy, Artem.
Yeah, he kind of gets shit for being McGregor's best friend, but so what? I mean. But yeah, so now they're saying Ronda versus Cyborg at WWE. Is that going to happen?
Cyborg's trying to make her way into WWE for a matchup, but it'll never happen.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think it ever happens.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see them really fight.
Yeah, that'll never happen either.
I mean, Cyborg would
better
just
shot at GSP and Anderson.
Cyborg would just murder her, right? Yeah, that would just be that'd be bad.
Glover Teixeira was replaced
By
since
who?
he was injured. Thiago Santos is moving up to 205 to fight Jimmy Manua in Brazil.
Ooh, I like Manua. So this week, our boy James Vick has been on the podcast 5 or 6 times. Good dude is fighting Justin Gaethje. Gaethje is is a great fighter, but not the best IQ. Mm-hmm. He's just like every fight is just put your head down, keep swinging until someone goes down first. Was working for in WSOF.
I was gonna say that it's always fun to watch though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, always fun to watch. They gave him Diego Sanchez another fight. It's like, come on.
What he's fighting? I think it's like Craig White.
Yeah.
Or something.
Father time.
Yeah. I mean,
it's enough already.
So I like James Vick in this fight. I think his reach, his boxing. I think Gaethje's chin is finally caught up to him.
He said he's going to retire if he loses this fight.
Gaethje?
Yeah, he said he's done.
He should. That'll be 3 knockouts in a row. I'm like, Eddie 3 losses in a row. I mean, Poirier just murdered him, murked him.
Eddie pieced him up pretty nicely too at the end of that.
At the end, yeah. Who do we like in that fight?
Yeah, go ahead.
I like James Vick. I think James Vick is going to dominate, dude.
But Gaethje's got great wrestling. Supposedly he's using wrestling for this fight. But that's
I hope so.
Yeah.
James Vick is very long. He's going to use his range. Gaethje's best shot is to get inside, but Vick is good at keeping guys at range, using his jab, and just throwing what 6-foot-something dude at lightweight throws flying knees out of nowhere.
No way.
I like James Vick in this fight as much as it pains me to say.
Also, Jake Ellenberger taking on Brian Barberena.
Hey,
yes.
That'll be a good fight.
Yes, they're fighting.
I like the old Barberena.
I think he moved to Tennessee and opened up a goat farm or something. He's like a ranch.
Gotta have a side hustle
Forever.
Yeah.
When was the last time he fought?
It's been a while.
It seems like it's been a while.
This card's awesome, man.
Yeah, the card is good. Omaha,
But of
Nebraska.
course, I'm going to go with the guy that's the friend of the show,
Jake Ellenberger.
Of course.
We have to.
Of course,
He needs a win.
great guy,
He needs
super
it big
nice.
time.
I mean, he needs a win.
I mean, but how much longer do you think he can keep fighting?
I don't know. If they don't cut him as long as he'll keep taking fights.
Okay.
I don't want to see him have to go.
I want to see him win.
He's 2-8 in his last 10.
I mean, and
Ellenberger.
10, and that's his last 10. I mean,
Yeah, but one of them he got his foot stuck in the cage. He did. I was there.
The Masvidal.
all right, 2-8. So, but that's a lot of fighting. I mean, at what point Do you?
I know that's like Weendawg and his girlfriend. He's a 2 and she's an 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Ellenberger's been going to different camps too. He's been at Ruka, he's been at Black House a little bit, and he's been at the Training Lab, which is that new TJ Dillashaw super camp.
Yeah.
So
He
he's working with
loses
the
this
right
fight.
guys.
Do you think he should keep fighting?
I think it depends on how he loses.
Look, man, he got knocked out by Mike Perry. They went to commercial break, and he was still fucking knocked out.
Yeah.
I mean, he got
Platinum
He lost
Mike
to
Perry.
Ben Saunders, who's also kind of a guy who's been around. I mean,
Yeah, journeyman.
I mean, he got hit in the ribs.
long,
and it was,
long on the tooth.
No, I don't think he should keep fighting if he loses. But if he loses a controversial decision and looks great doing it and yada yada, like you said, it depends on how he loses. But if he gets knocked out, no, absolutely fucking not.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
What do you think is gonna be fight of the night on this card? I think Johnson.
Andre
Johnson
Fili and Michael Johnson.
Yeah, that
those
could be
two
fight of
guys
the
are
night, dude.
fucking crazy.
Ooh,
I don't know
that's
if
a
that
good
goes that
fight.
long. I don't
Really?
know if that fight goes that long. I mean, I know Johnson at 145 he's fresh to the division pretty much. I think he's had one fight before that. Fili's super tough, but like I worry about his chin. And Michael Johnson hits pretty damn hard.
Really
And his
fucking hard.
Wrestling is by far superior to Fili's wrestling. So I
Yeah,
don't
but
know if
Fili
it
trains
goes
at Alpha Male. Like that wrestling, you catch up really quick when you're with a bunch of all-American wrestlers, and it's MMA wrestling. Yeah, Johnson wrestled in college. I think he was like a D2 or D3 All-American. He was a good wrestler, but when you're around Alpha Male guys, when you're around Uriah Faber and Chad Mendez and those other guys over there, and Cody No Love, who's a great wrestler, and Lance Palmer and Tyler Diamond and all those guys. You're wrestling. Look at Northcutt. Northcutt wrestling was shit.
Yeah, it was.
And now it's pretty fucking good. So I don't know.
I like Courtney Casey and Angela Hill, man.
I like Courtney Casey, college soccer player. I like her fight with Felice Herrig, where she gave him 2 middle fingers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Felice is fighting the Karate Hottie.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Who'd you rather sleep with? Karate Hottie or Felice?
Fleece.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
More aggressive.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm the other way around.
I don't-
Watterson.
Now, would you let Joe?
Yeah.
Would you let those girls put a strap on and put it up your butt?
Peg you?
Well, do I get to fuck them in return?
Yes.
Then yeah.
Right?
Really?
Yeah.
What about no?
Well, if I had to choose between either one, I'm very conflicted because I think Michelle Watterson is more attractive personally, but I think Felice will let you do more stuff to her.
But you would still let them
she's
put a
definitely-
dildo up your
It's
ass?
going to get all over the room.
And then we talked about this last episode. It just depends on like the
It's going to
size.
spray
A
everywhere.
dildo like this, hell yeah, like this is like a 4-inch. I don't know what the hell that is, but yeah, not this.
He's
not this giant
evaluated
water
the
bottle.
size.
Greg, would you let them put dildos up your ass?
No.
Me neither. Why not?
Why not? Because I'm not going to.
You would bang, but you would bang Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, I would bang Caitlyn Jenner. Not Caitlyn Jenner would bang me.
But that's still you're banging a dude. Well, now not a dude anymore.
Exactly.
I don't know
Thank
what
you.
the pronoun-
I'm banging a something. So it's a little different. This guy's over here taking it in the ass
So you wouldn't let.
for no return.
for no return. For not like, but if he did get returned, then definitely.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're banging a something.
I'm banging a something. Who knows what's going on down there at this point? Whatever it is, I'll figure it out. It may be your belly button.
Wow, you're fucking hilarious. By the way, you're a strange dude.
I'll just listen. We're talking about some of the rarest something.
My wife
out
sometimes
there.
tries to put a finger up my ass, and I'm like, "Get your fucking finger."
Former Olympian,
Yeah.
okay, reality TV star, somehow Kardashian. You know, I mean, male, female. Like this is crazy.
By the way, did you watch the VMAs last night?
No, I meant to. I forgot.
Dude, I watched the VMAs. I gotta say, like, okay, I'm a fan of Tiffany. I know Tiffany Haddish and Kevin Hart, and they kind of hosted it sort of in the beginning.
Yeah.
And
There's that movie
they were
coming
funny.
out.
They were funny. But fucking Chris Rock, I showed my wife the 1999 VMAs. Chris Rock comes out with a fucking monologue, blew the whole roof up. I mean, just solid jokes. I mean, just
Where did you find a VHS player?
no. I went on YouTube.
Oh,
And I
I thought you had some old tape. Let me dust this.
I went on YouTube, and Chris Rock is like, which is gonna be the bad Backstreet Boy, the one to knock up Britney Spears and throw her down a flight of steps. I mean, the jokes were fucking.
Here's the
insane.
difference. Can I tell you the difference?
What?
Okay. he didn't have any movie waiting for him, taking up his whole fucking schedule to get back to. He had time to write. He was out at the clubs. Whereas those two, they're in so many movies. They're lucky they had 30 minutes to stop, come and do this show, and then go back to their fucking movies.
I know, but they weren't bad. They were better than the previous host. But we've come such a long way.
I can't believe
down.
you still watch them.
Well, do you think they also have
No,
to skip?
I wanted to say what the kids are talking about.
That's true. No, I get that. That's
Chris
why I
Rock,
got Kiss FM on my radio.
I mean, his jokes were fucking hilarious. I mean, he would like Jennifer Lopez. She needed 2 limos, one for her ass, one for this.
He got in trouble for that joke.
Did he really?
Yeah.
He's like, your ass is. He goes, you're the Commodores. Your ass is Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
One after another. Every joke was out of the fucking. And I'm like, man, that's how I would approach it. If I was like ever asked, I won't be, but if they were like, let's say 5 years, my fucking career is on fire, and hey, host of VMAs. I'm coming in fucking guns a-blazing. And then when he introduced Backstreet Boy or NSYNC and Britney Spears, he goes, are y'all ready for some real lip syncing? Right?
Right, that's right,
and
that's right.
Crying.
Yeah.
And then he goes, why'd they even use microphones? It was, he shit on everybody. Everybody. It was so fucking, he goes, living La Vida Loca, Ricky Martin, the same song, you're going to be living La Vida Broca. I mean, it was just one half. So anyways, the VMAs go on. They had the one joke, Tiffany, that a couple jokes to me were funny, but the one that really won was like, some people are watching us at home. Shout out to Fifth Harmony, right? That was funny, right? And then Nicki Minaj goes up there and goes, "Hey, you better not shit on Fifth Harmony. That's my girl." But like, fuck off. Let her make a fucking joke without you having to defend it. It was, I don't know.
Was the picture you posted on Twitter last night?
Madonna
Was that from the VMAs?
Okay, yeah, Madonna comes out, right? For the Aretha Franklin tribute.
Right.
Because that's a close.
Spends 8 minutes talking about.
Yeah, because those two were very close. Yeah.
Spends 5 minutes talking about Madonna. Like, she goes, yeah, back when I was, a struggling artist, and I was homeless, and I was this, and I was that, I needed to sing a song, so I sang Aretha Franklin. And because of that, I got this album and that album. I'm like, and whole Twitter blew up. It was like, someone actually, Katie Nolan, was like, but I don't know that she isn't the one that died. But it was all about Madonna. I'm like, What the fuck? It was the worst tribute I've ever seen in my life. She comes out looking like she just robbed a fucking Goodwill store. She's got tattoos on her face. I guess trying to be one of the rappers now with the tattoos on their foreheads. I don't know what that's about. Have you seen that?
God.
The fucking crosses on the foreheads. Like what is that? And it's so. It's like these. I don't know.
Because when you think of Aretha Franklin, you definitely think of Madonna.
Madonna. Oh yes, the Queen of Soul, and
the Queen of Hole.
That whore. I'm kidding.
Yeah, no, it was brutal. It was brutal.
But do you think in terms of like Kevin Hart versus Chris Rock, do you think MTV has told them like you gotta scale down the comedy a little bit? We can't let you go absolutely crazy?
I think they'd probably welcome it at this point. Just for controversy. I just think that. I mean, Kevin Hart's a great comic, and he works really hard at his craft. And they shouldn't have two comics hosting together anyway, because it's just not. Unless that's your thing. It's usually I guess Goldie Hawn and Steve Martin kind of were good back in the day when they hosted the Oscars, but it's just have one comic host.
But MTV Awards, those are so loose anyway. You know what I mean?
I know. It was back in the day. Chris Rock murdered the VMAs. I mean, murdered it. It was, if you want to look up 1999 VMAs. Chris Rock, it was another level.
Well, wasn't Chris Rock also one of the three? It was like him, Whoopi Goldberg, and somebody else did like the comedy jam that do you remember what I'm talking about? It was like a couple decades ago.
Def Comedy Jam or
but it was like the
Comic Relief.
Comic Relief. Yeah. They like hosted and they fucking murdered.
Yeah, but Chris Rock just back in the day. What happened with Chris Rock, real quick, is like, after. And I verified this with Tony Rock. I was talking to his brother about it. Chris Rock, after, he was big for a second. He was big, and he was on Saturday Night Live, and he left SNL because they made him the head of In Living Color. But it was like season 7 or something.
Yeah.
And then he completely.
Came in season 3 or 4.
No, 7. And he came in, and it went off the air like in a month. And his agents fired him, and all this. So then he went on tour with Martin Lawrence. And back in the day, Martin Lawrence was hosting Def Jam.
Totally. He was huge.
Had to show Martin.
Concert movies.
And Chris Rock couldn't follow Martin. Martin would do an hour up front. They were supposed to be co-headlining. And like Chris Rock would be backstage, and he thought there were like fireworks going off. That's how loud it was.
Yeah.
And he basically got booed off stage following Martin. So Chris Rock went underground, took his time, really developed the jokes, came out like a year later with Bring the Pain, which to this day,
One of the most brilliant comedy specials ever.
I think is the best comedy special of all time.
Yeah, maybe.
my favorite one of all time. And that just shows you, like, sometimes you need that. Sometimes
Yeah.
you need to get the shit beaten out of you to cut for the comeback.
Yeah.
Some people can't handle the comeback. They're one and done.
America loves a comeback, though.
How many comics have we seen have hype, bomb, and then it's over? They fall. But other times it's like, all right, motherfucker, you get back up, you dust up, you go, all right.
Well, Joe Rogan, I mean, he's a much better comedian now than when he was a young guy that was on television all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he'll tell you that. He's talked about it extensively, how much more focused he is on the material and how much broader it is, how much more he writes and everything like that. I think it's generations removed, and it is generations removed. But, I mean, his stand-up game is so much stronger than when he was a younger comic.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. So, yeah, anyway.
And that's why our boy Jake Ellenberger is going to win this weekend, because it's all about the comeback.
You think so?
I don't know.
So, I hope so. I happen to like him a lot. The guy who's fighting.
I like both of them.
Yeah, he's a friend of mine. He came to a show, and I hope it's a great fight. But Ellenberger, you know, you're absolutely right. He does need a win. I mean, he can't. And I don't want to I don't want to see him in like journeyman's category or one of those things where like they just set him up for some, you know, like what it was, BJ Penn versus that kid, the Mexican kid.
Rodriguez.
Oh God, you know that's the worst when they try to like give someone a name by, you know, it's like, come on.
I think Ellenberger could do well in Bellator if that becomes an option at some point.
Or have him win $1 million for PFL. But listen, guys, let's talk about sex. Good
finally.
sex.
Point
Now
of
you
view.
can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. You need that. CB, you need that. Okay, Greg, you probably are too confident. Weendawg.
I've been accused of that before.
It hasn't happened yet, but it's going to happen. Go to bluechew.com. That's blue, like the color blue. It brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. So you know they work, okay? You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill. That's the worst. You take a pill, you got to wait 35 minutes or 45 minutes for it to kick in, all right? Not Blue Chew. And it's prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. No in-person doctor visits, no awkwardness, no, hey, what are you here for? None of that, okay? They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Save money, people. Listen, right now they got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com. Get your first shipment free when you use our promo code MMA. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BLUECHEW.com. Promo code MMA. It's the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring our podcast.
All right.
Yeah. Of course. So what's going on with you? What do you any big shows coming up?
I will be in El Paso at the El Paso Comic Strip this Thursday through Sunday, August, whatever this is till then. I think it's like 26, 27, 28, something like that.
Yeah.
What is it?
I love that club.
Yeah, it's a great club.
Thursday is the 23rd.
23rd through the 26th. That will be at the El Paso Comic Strip. And then next weekend, next Thursday, August 30th through September 2nd, I will be in Laughlin at the Riverside Casino at the Labor Day Weekend Comedy Festival.
Now, are you doing the festival or are you doing the casino?
I'm doing the festival,
Okay.
which is at the casino.
Now, is it a contest or what?
No, it's just a comedy. They're having an end of summer comedy festival.
Oh, nice. I know they used to have a contest, right?
Yeah, they did. I think that was at the Edgewater, though.
Oh, this is somewhere else.
Yeah, this is at the Riverside.
Oh, nice. I like Laughlin. It's
It's fun. I like to I like to rent the jet skis.
Really?
Yeah, baby. Woo!
Is fantasy football harsh reality back yet?
It's not back yet. I got to get to it. It's been tough. I've been super fucking busy with all these shows and my workshops and everything else. It's been very difficult. Oh, and if you want to learn the craft of stand-up, having the free workshop next Tuesday night, August 28th at Space Station Casting Studios in Hollywood at 7 p.m.
So people can come for free?
For free. Totally free workshop. Anybody can come to it.
How do you make money in that?
It's my intro workshop where they kind of get an idea of what I teach. And I I give away a ton of great information in it.
You come, you get them hooked, and then they're like, hey, by the way, if you want more of this, you got to
pretty much, yeah.
Look at that.
But there's no obligation. You don't have to sign up for nothing.
You're like a comedy Coke dealer.
You know, that's how you do it. Hey, listen, Coke marketing works for everything.
It does.
Everybody gives you, even then with your free trial, give you a free trial.
Yeah.
And then if you like it, hey, then you can pay for it. That is Coke marketing.
They should have Coke heads teach business courses.
They really should, because that's what everything is. Anything that gives you a free sample, that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, so that's what I do. Yeah, you can come and learn and see the way that I teach and everything that I have to teach, because usually people have no idea how much actually goes into stand-up till they hear someone start breaking it down.
Yeah.
You know, and then they realize, oh, it's not just me getting up there and acting like an idiot.
Well, we're calling a guy right now who's a murderer.
You mean convicted? Or?
Hello, is this Alexander Hernandez?
Yep.
Hey, you're on the MMA Roast. How are you doing, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good. You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, the Greg Wilson, Weendawg is here, as well as CB Gold. Man, congrats on your wins, man. First of all, I was at your fight on Beneil Dariush. You fucked up my parlay because I was like, man,
that's what you get.
I was like, this guy, I don't know who this guy is. I knew Beneil. I'm like, he's taking this fight on the 3 days notice, and then you came out.
Gotta go for the underdog.
Yeah, I know.
Under.
But then you came out and you knocked him out. Holy shit, man. I mean, that was your first fight in the UFC, right?
Yeah, that was bonkers. That was a crazy intro.
I mean, was that now? I mean, going against was it like a 1 week notice, 3 days notice? Well, how many?
Yeah, it was a 7. It was either 7 or 8 day notice. I think it was 7 or 8.
So okay, so you live in Texas, right?
Yeah, San Antonio,
and then they call you and say, hey, man, you want to fight in the UFC against Beneil Dariush. You know the guy's a formidable black belt. You know he's tough. You know he knocked out James Vick. And you're just like, fuck it, let's do it?
I actually didn't have any idea who it was. My manager gave me a call. I was preparing for another fight. And he was like, hey, dude, shit's crazy. You might have an opportunity to jump into the UFC next week, and you want it? I was like, fuck yeah, I want it. You know, the weight class is so stacked, you don't miss any opportunities, right? So you just got to grab them. And he said, okay, awesome. I'll let him know. I said, cool, hung up. And I texted him, by the way, you know, who the fuck are we looking at? And he said, it could be between 2 people. And I don't know how he got 2 people, but it was funny. The 2 names that he sent me was Beneil Dariush, and then it was Mercier was the other one.
Wow.
And I said, I don't really give a fuck who it is. I'll take anybody. And truthfully, dude, I don't fanboy out in the UFC. And so Dariush's face was familiar to me, but I didn't really know him very well. And I had no idea who Mercier was. So I just said, yeah, fuck it. Let's do either one. I was hoping it would be Beneil because I knew that he was a highly ranked 55er once I looked him up a little bit. And so I thought, man, wouldn't that be fucking crazy to go out there and just murk a ranked dude out the gate like that, just completely unprecedented. And so it was cool. It worked the way it did, huh?
It's exactly the way it happened. Now, when he came out throwing bombs at you, were you glad or were you nervous? Was that what you thought was going to happen?
No, I knew that was going to happen. I knew if we he's a slow stalker, and so he likes to he likes to stalk the cage, kind of prey his opponent in the corner, kind of on his fence line, and he just presses him, and then his opponent's just sort of riding the fence, and he's bullying him against it, and just kind of getting this like this slow build into to the pace that he wants, and he bullies his opponents, and so I figured if I could just storm the cage and just bull rush the fuck out of him, hit him with something big, disrupt his cadence, he's going to come back with that overhand and maybe look to throw a big left kick. But I knew he'd come back with that overhand, slip and move, come back in and start working my game and have him breathing at my cadence. And I knew he wouldn't like that, and he didn't. And so I kind of saw it unraveling like that. I didn't think it was going to happen as fast as it did, but I knew it was going to happen.
That was crazy. And then your OAM fight. I mean, OAM is an amazing fighter. I mean, they were touting him as to be a champion. That guy is no joke. I mean, you beat him every single round, but you were still pissed about it afterwards.
Yeah. Well, the reason was, you know, I just hold myself to such a pedigree. You know, the spring that you saw in the Dariush fight, I didn't come into that OAM fight with the same stride in my step, that same kind of tenacity, in my knees and everything. I just I felt a little flat, and I wasn't gauging my range as intelligently as I should have. And I just started kind of playing. It was a bigger game of cat and mouse than I anticipated. I didn't expect him to flee the way he did. And I said it before, it's hard to kill a man whose sole objective is surviving. And so I was a little frustrated that I was playing into that a little too much. So I was getting a little frustrated myself. And fuck, man, I go in there to win 3 checks. I want 3 checks. I don't just want 2. I want that fat-ass bonus check to hit 2. And then I want to go from there, and I want to be in the papers about it. And so I was just disappointed about a few things, but there's a lot to take from it. Like you said, I felt like I dominated all 3 rounds. I was mad that I let myself fall into that stupid fucking Kimura attack. That was silly. It was just negligence on my part. And make sure I won't do that again. But just little things, exchanges that I should have, like that one, like that attack, that should have never occurred because, and there's no disrespect. I think he's a phenomenal grappler, and he's excelled well in the UFC. But I just do not think that we are in the same stratosphere of competition. And so I expected to finish him, and I wasn't just bullshitting when I said I'd finish him in the first round. To my fullest extent, I believed that. And so I was just kind of critical of myself afterwards. I think that fight could have gone better in a few different ways.
I don't know. I was highly impressed.
But it was good.
I was highly impressed. Now your first fight, you won $50,000. What'd you do with that money? I'm serious.
You always have.
I want to know. What was that?
But yeah, I'm not gonna go buy like a fucking giraffe or something. I didn't like do anything crazy. Like go buy a bunch of suits and shit. I did buy a few, but I didn't do anything too crazy. I was already making money before this whole gig. I was doing well on my business side, so I already blew my load on a fucking car that I don't need, and some gear and some other things. So when I got that money, I just kind of put it right back into myself, the best investment I can make. And
Nice.
And this business costs money with traveling, coaches. You got a lot of people to pay for, and then injuries. Most things you got to kind of pay for yourself until you're important enough on the UFC radar for them to nurse you. So I put that money into me, and now I'm putting it into a gym. I'm opening up a gym, and that's going to take, obviously, some cash flow.
Now, what's your other business?
Before I was, simultaneously, in conjunction with fighting, I was a loan officer. I was doing the whole mortgage gig.
Okay.
And so, I was tired of all these like pricky real estate guys trying to stun on me with nice cars or gizmos or whatever. Cause I've always been a young guy, and as you see, I have a baby face, and so I've always been kind of the underdog and shit. The industry age average for my business was like 52. And so I don't know any LOs that were 20. I never met one in their 30s. And so most of these guys are like my father's age, and they're all doing business with all the big money realtors. And I had to kind of step up and fill in shoes that truthfully no one thought I was credible to fill. And in doing so, I bought some expensive shit like this 6 Series Beamer I'm in, and some other nice little gizmos.
Nice.
And so I kind of got out of my system before the whole UFC thing even started. And now, like I said, I'm so focused on just developing as a fighter, I haven't really spent too much money on toys and things.
Oh, that's good. Now you grew up in St. Louis?
I was born in St. Louis, lived there into my early elementary, moved to Georgia, then I moved to Texas. I've been in Texas longer than anywhere else in my life.
Nice.
And I consider myself a Texas boy.
What part of
Yeah.
Texas?
San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio. Nice.
Yeah. Now, did you do any wrestling in high school or?
Yeah, so San Antonio is not known for being a wrestling city, nor Texas a wrestling state, but we definitely popped off with some wrestling. We had a good group of lightweight, just kind of small fry dudes that weren't good at ball sports, and so we just strapped up in that old latex band and fucked each other up. We had a good national squad. We would travel, and really that's all we did year-round was travel and train nationally on our wrestling circuits that we had. And we were pretty mean, and so I did that in 8th grade through high school, and then decided to go a different route at college. I started doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and then got into boxing real heavily.
I mean, you're a brown belt jiu-jitsu. You got obviously high-level wrestling, great boxer. You seem angry as fuck, which is a good thing. Very.
No. I'm composed. There's no anger in that case, baby. I'm composed in there. You can't be mad.
No, but you have a chip on your shoulder, but in like a good way though. But in a good way. In a good way. You have a good chip. It's like I like talking to guys like you because I can see you making it all the way to the top. Just talking to you right away, I'm like, this guy is gonna be a champ. You could just tense it. Now, are you banging any San Antonio girls, or you have a girlfriend, or what's the deal?
Yeah, you know, we try to tame strains from all regions of the globe. I'm not partisan to any section by any means. And so, you know, San Antonio is fine little Mexicana pot, so I like to get my down under the border fix over here. And, you know, Austin's a beautiful place too. And so, you kind of meander north and find some young kind of hipster talent up there. And so it's fun, dude. Texas is a beautiful place.
So
it really is. So, I mean, between San Antonio and Austin, I just kind of let the dick swing freely up that 35 interstate.
Nice.
No, I mean, I would think, like, I mean, here you are, you're what, 9-1, you're a UFC star, you got some money, you got a good business. Are you killing it on Tinder, Bumble, or are you going into cowboy bars?
Yeah, well, I mean, 10-1 or 11-1. I don't know what.
Okay,
I'm definitely over 9-1.
All right, you're 11-1 Are you killing the Tinder game, Bumble?
Strong correction.
Are you going to?
You know, it's funny you say that, dude. So I went through like a Bumble rampage. Like I could have written a book on 24-hour conversions.
Yeah.
God, at Bumble and Tinder, and I was just kind of running through the barracks. And I don't know how I got anything fucking done because I was working like a madman, training like a madman, and just probably like fucking and taking Adderall to get through the week. And it was just like Jamie Waters, the Jameson water, like pussy out and then like work gym. It was a mess of a masterpiece, but I put it together. And I was kind of in like earlier 20s, and then I got sick of all that shallow shit. And so really, I'm not really into like just the superficial interactions as much because there's so many stupid girls out there, and it just kind of gets old having the same like surface conversations. But I definitely ran through that. And then at some point, I deleted my profile. And then after that UFC knockout, I think one of the first things I did when I got back to the hotel was like, fuck, I got to like re-download that just to make sure I delete my full account. Because, dude, I'll get exposed to some of the shit I was saying out there.
What were you saying?
So, no, it was just, it was a be there thing, dude. It was miracle. But,
delete.
Let's plan on coming over and listening to Skirt. I'm not going to drop those bars on you, but I made sure that all incriminating evidence was disposed of. And now I'm just a God-fearing saint, a taxpayer, a philanthropist, and I just bide my time focusing in the gym.
What kind of philanthropy are you doing?
Single moms.
So I have a sweet spot for, you know, like antidepressant and groups of that nature.
That's nice.
And so I've been kind of looking in some local groups and international ones that seem credible to start kind of, you know, just donating something to. And I like to give to the needy when I can. You know, I'm a pussy at most red lights. You know, I'll toss people a bone generally every time I can. So.
That's
nice. Good for you, brother.
Really nice of you, man. That's really nice of you.
Yeah.
That's really nice. I wish more guys, you know, who have your kind of influence would talk to people about depression and, you know, somebody who's you know, I think that's great. I think that's really great.
Yeah, I do really want to get more into that, and definitely just philanthropy in general. Give back a percentage of what you make to people who need it more, because it's real easy to get greedy in this game, and you don't need too much. I mean, you gotta spend some money to make money, and so you do need to showboat a little bit, but you know, give to when you can.
Yeah, that's awesome. So who do you want to fight next?
You know, that Gaethje versus Vic victory would be pretty sweet. I like that. It sounds like Pence is just sitting around waiting for someone to slap him, so, you know, I'm here. And palms are open.
Wait.
Ally Aquinta doesn't seem like he's doing much, but real estate, I don't know if he's credible to call out or not, but that'd be interesting. I want that. I want to break the top 10, by the end of the year, and so I'd like someone in that 6 to 10 bracket, and really, I'm not biased on body type, skill sets, anything. There's nothing I'm willing to avoid. I just want someone to have a number by their name, and I'd like to be in that 10 range.
What about a guy like Kevin Lee?
Kevin Lee's awesome. Yeah, he's top 5 though. It sounds like he's looking at a title shot.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, if I'm even on that dude's radar, that's fine. I'll take fucking anybody at any time.
I
For
believe
me, though, people like Cormier said it too, think I have this arrogance about me, and it's not. It's just an extreme level of assurance and confidence and focus. But I'm also highly aware, and I don't expect Kevin Lee. Somebody asked me about Kevin Lee or like Tony Ferguson the other day, and I thought, why the fuck would they care to fight me? There's no
upside for them.
They are currently out of my spectrum of opponents. Ferguson just had, if anything, they're probably going to fight each other. Ferguson, which I know you didn't say, but what I responded was, he just came off being an interim champion, and Kevin Lee just beat Barbosa. Before that, did he lose for that? Was that the fight they lost the strap for the interim fight?
Yeah, that was for interim.
Because of the top 5, they're all patiently waiting. Poirier, Lee, Ferguson, then Khabib and McGregor. So they're all in this pool of contention for the belt. I don't deserve to be in that pool yet, and there's more that I need to grow and develop before I enter those waters. I'm not going to pretend like I'm ready to take on the world tomorrow, but I will be when the time comes.
You're getting there though, man. Who are some of the guys that you train with?
A lot of boys you guys might not be aware of, man. I mean, we're kind of down under and coming up. I have the best coaches in the world. I have Jason Yarrington as my head coach, Jason Kilgore, trying strength and conditioning. He's my mobility and strength conditioning coach. I have Dale Christian in San Diego, so we cross-train back and forth. I got No Love Ellis, who's my boxing coach. And, of course, Hand Job, John O'Rourke. He's my striking guy. He got the name Hand Job because he holds pads and wraps hands, and it's kind of a funny story off one of our pro fights. He was wrapping our hands on like a last minute. You know how messy like amateur shows and early pro shows are, and those promotions are such a clusterfuck. And he was trying to wrap up all these hands right before we had like a last minute notice for an early walkout. And he just wrapped it up, slapped on the last piece of tape, and kicked me out. He's like, my God, that was the fastest hand job I've ever done. And since then, he's been hand job. We got
those words have been uttered a lot in human history.
Washington from Brazil, who's a Brazilian world champion in Muay Thai kickboxing. A fuckload of Brazilian black belts. We got the deepest jiu-jitsu room in the state of Texas right now. It's fucking insane. Between Jason Yarrington, Professor Dudu Wagner, Glebe Samponi, I mean, anybody can just kind of hop on the gram and follow us, and you'll see we've got a stacked room, a lot of professional candidates that are either fighting on the Contender Series upcoming or just had. And so we got a lot of people on the brink of big things, greatness. And so I'm excited. It's a good, young, fostering room, and it's a hungry room. And what I appreciate most about what I've got going on in San Antonio is that we have a genuine relationship and a genuine bond between coaches, partners, and everything. There's nothing superficial about it. And not to knock a lot of these gyms in, like California is real mainstream, Vegas is real mainstream. And it's so saturated with gyms and options that people just hop from one thing to the next. They get a wild hair up their ass, or somebody fucking, pulls their panties wrong, and they think, fuck this place, I'm going to go to the next one. They go a quarter mile down the road, they jump into a new gym. And then they're training, go, they didn't like it for whatever reason, they had a loss. Okay, let me go look to the new gym. And everybody's just always hopping and floating, and there's no true camaraderie or commitment to one another. And that's something that we have above all. And so, people keep asking, you're going to move, you're going to do this big, you're going to try to train at like one of these mainstream name gyms. And no, I can't replace the years of again, camaraderie and understanding that I forged between me and my coaches. They know me better than anybody. and we work better one-on-one than anybody else. And then the partners, the teammates that I have, when we're growing, it's a beautiful thing, dude. And so I think that being on the outskirts, being unknown, is at times a far greater advantage than being in the main.
Yeah, I mean, you got no training partners that can go to another gym and be like, oh, he's gonna do this and that. You know, you're gonna surprise a lot of people. That makes a lot of sense. Well, okay. Well, where can people find you on Instagram, Twitter, social media, Tinder?
Yeah, brother. So check me out on The Great 155. Check out Ohana Academy. Check out Trident Strength and Conditioning.
All right. Well, we'll do that. Hey, man. Well, good luck with your upcoming fights. Good luck. I'm telling you, you're going to be the champion one day. Obviously, you know that. And don't forget me when you.
I just my dick on hearing that, bro. I love that. And the other thing too, next time you bet on me, because I love hearing people say they made money on me, dude. I'm like
I will 1,000% bet on you every time. Every time. And also, don't forget us when you're a big star.
Oh yeah, dude. Never that. I appreciate you guys.
No problem. Take care.
All right, brother.
Bye. All right, that was Alexander Hernandez.
Wow.
I'm reading about the most fucked up injury to an MMA fighter ever. Do you know Bryce Mitchell, who was recently
an
Ultimate Fighter?
What happened to him?
It wasn't in a training session, but I guess he was working. He works in construction or something. He had a board over his head, and he had a power drill in his pocket or something.
Yeah.
The drill went off, caught his nutsack in it, and ripped it completely in half.
What?
And he had to reverse the drill to get it out of his nuts.
This happened today?
This happened today, and he can't show the picture, of course, but he's showing those are his boxers.
God damn.
Oh, God, that's just so bad.
And he's like, I wanted to train today, but I can't throw a high kick.
That's like Weendawg's next fetish. But,
just reading it, I'm like,
that's brutal.
Oh, God.
No, you're fine. You make coffee. Chimera coffee? Or regular coffee? Regular coffee? I love you. All right, here we go. All right, we're going to call Bob Sapp. We'll see if he picks up. The great Bob Sapp. You know who Bob Sapp is, Greg?
Sure.
Okay, well, explain. Bob Sapp was a god.
King Kong.
Back in the day. Like, he beat Ernesto Hoost in kickboxing, this huge, massive black guy. He actually played NFL football for a second.
That Bob Sapp.
Then
he was in The Longest Yard.
He was in a lot of movies, and also I think he was in Stan with Rob Schneider, where he goes to jail and learn. Anyway, so he was the man. I mean, the guy is like in Asia. He's like the Michael Jordan of Asia, basically. And then
that guy. Yeah.
But then a lot of his fights recently. People will say that they're just taking dives, like he sort of like taps to double legs, and like yada, like it doesn't. He's kind of fallen on hard times as far as like consistency, quality of performances for him. However, back in the day, this dude was a monster, a fucking monster. So we're gonna call
put him against these tiny ass dudes that he just embarrassed.
Yeah, but those guys weren't. I mean, he beat guys that beat. Henzo Gracie. I mean,
I know.
He beat,
and it was like one punch, and the dude was in the fourth row.
Yeah, he was a monster. Nobody could figure him out until they figured him out. But yeah, we're gonna call him. He actually reached out to me about being on the podcast.
Nice.
Or his people did.
Maybe he's got something to discuss.
Ooh, maybe an announcement.
Hello.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
Oh, come on. Let's just do this. Hello.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
I'm gonna call him from here.
All right. Do you guys know the comedian Andy Gross?
No. Why?
There's this whole like I don't know sexual harassment thing against him for something to do with his set, and it's like becoming this like a huge issue.
Hello, Bob. It's ringing over here. Hello, Bob. So Weendawg, cut all this out. Hello? Hey, is this Bob Sapp? Hey, it's Adam Hunter. I'm going to call you from an unlisted number in like 2 seconds, okay? All right. Okay, so... Hello.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system.
So I may have to just put the...
Plug the phone in.
Yeah.
There's a
Babe,
way.
do we have a the cord that goes into the phone that goes into here? See if it picks up. Yeah.
The adapter. Yeah.
I think. Hold on, let's see.
Hello.
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 Hey, this is the legend Bob Sapp.
There you have it. It's him.
Hey, what's going on, man? You're on the MMA Roasted Podcast. Me, Adam Hunter. I'm here with the Greg Wilson.
Hey.
Greg Romero Wilson, actually, and
Both of them.
And CB Gold. How you doing, Bob Sapp?
All right, I'm doing pretty good now. Now, listen, you got to get the name right. It's Bob the Beast.
Oh, sorry. Bob the Beast Sapp. I'm sorry. I will never, ever. Now, Bob, I've been following you forever. I remember I was younger, and I remember watching you in K1 when you were throwing around Ernesto Hoost and some of these legends, man. You've had some career.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I'm loving it. I'm definitely enjoying it.
What's your most proudest moment when it comes to either kickboxing or mixed martial arts?
Well, I think my most surprising moment had to be when I defeated Ernesto Cruz. Now, my most shocking moment was the fact when I did a powerbomb Nogueira and simply continued to fight. I really thought that was a move that would have really turned his lights out, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, now when you powerbombed them, I mean, you were doing like WWE moves in real fights. Did you practice power bombing people in practice, or you just kind of made it up on the fly?
No, I made it up off the fly. That was the extent of my MMA, was what I had learned at WCW professional wrestling when I was training there under Paul Orndorff and Sergeant Dwayne Bruce. That's how I met a lot of the guys from now, even some are still around in WWE. That's how I met a lot of them.
So, I mean, how come you didn't go to like a real MMA gym if you were going to fight MMA?
Well, no one knew I was going to be fighting MMA, so, they kind of shipped me around. At that time, New Japan was doing pretty hot stuff, and they thought my contract was going to be picked up by New Japan. They saw me and was like, nah, we can take him because he's going to take some more time. We can don't really use him. And K1 said, well, kickboxing requires a little bit more skill, technical skill. So the only thing left was pride.
Right. Now I'm looking at your whole. Not your whole. I'm looking at a lot of the stuff that you started. You were an amazing football player. You played Colorado Springs. You won a scholarship to the University of Washington, where you won the Morris Award, the Morris Trophy, which I guess is a really big award. Then you got picked up by the Chicago Bears, and then played for the Vikings. Now, how close were you to becoming a huge NFL star?
Yeah, I did pretty good. I actually was going pretty good. I was right behind David Dixon and Todd Stussy, and then who's now passed away, Corey Stringer. So my time to shine actually came up quite a few times. Unfortunately, back in the day, there was a supplement by the name of Anderson-Dione that a lot of the athletes were taking. I was one of them taking that, and that ended up being against what would be called the NFL's steroid policy. So I took a penalty against their policy. So it's kind of a complex thing. It would be very equivalent to if I had more than 8 cups of coffee and I was in the Olympics and I failed their drug test due to their stimulant policy. So it was kind of crazy.
Right.
But it is what it is.
So you had no idea when you were taking that stuff that you were going to get popped?
No, we had no idea. Actually, none of us had any idea. It was something that was brand new. Usually, when you think something like anabolic steroids, when you think something that's drugs, something illicit drugs, you think, either somebody giving it to you in a back room of a locker room, the kind of stereotypical, hey, look at this. And that's what we thought was what the steroids was. But I mean, I guess you add anything to the list, whether it's legal or illegal, it's on the list, and it's going to get you. So now that list has got something over some 4,000 plus odd substances on it. So I mean, it can get pretty difficult. So I don't think right now in this day and era, I don't think really it holds the same amount of weight as it used to. Back then, if you would have got busted for marijuana, it was a huge big deal, and you were this drug dealer, and you're going to go to jail. And now all of a sudden, you get busted for marijuana, and they're saying, "Well, where'd you get it?"
Right. Then it said you were. Then it said you were in poverty, working at a funeral home, moving coffins. Is that true?
Yes. Okay. So what happened was right after Refrigerator Perry, I needed a job, and the only job that was available that would hire was one that was removing dead bodies from the hospital to the morgue. And so I learned how to do that, and we literally would just kind of just watch the news, and when there was a major accident, those of us would get there, and we would hope to pick up some victims and escort them to the nearest hospitals. And that's how hospitals make revenue, is who picks them up and who uses their services, etc.
Was anybody not dead, and you were like carrying them to the morgue, and all of a sudden, like, oh, I'm not dead. You're like, oh, so sorry about that.
Yeah.
We'll just make a left.
We sure did had to go through a bunch of interviews or a reading process. Some of them, they were like giving you questions, were like, make sure you don't take pictures of the body, make sure you don't touch the body, make sure you don't taste the body, and they were just like thinking, okay, really, should I be here? Because I'm quite sure I really don't going to be touching, tasting, or anything of his body.
Yeah. So then you become the first, and you go to Japan, become the first African American champion. You wrestle all these guys, and then they said one time there was a guy, you had an opponent that was gay, that beat you and then started making out with you. What happened there?
Hello.
Yes, in Japan, there was a match, and against one of the... So Japan's got all these street characters. One of them characters was by the name. They've got several characters that their personas are that they're gay. One of them was this guy by the name of... his name like Schoolboy Gay or something. Well, he beats me. In the terms of match, if he beats me, I had to say that I was gay. So soon as he beats me, he says, okay, now you gotta say it, And the whole crowd is looking and pumping, and they're saying, yeah, you gotta say it. And I lift my hand up and I say, I'm gay? He's like, yeah, and then he comes over here, and he attempts to give me this big old smooch on the kiss, and the whole crowd goes crazy. Very, very
That's hilarious.
Very, very funny.
That is really, really funny. Now, when you go to Japan, when you first beat Ernesto Hoost, overnight, you're a massive sensation, right? I mean, you're like the Michael Jordan of Japan over there.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, you're looking at when I would cross the street, go to McDonald's, it would take normally it would take you like 2 minutes. It would take me 3.5 hours, and that's just to cross the street. So I was really popular.
Wow.
Wow.
Now I would see that like there were a lot of hot Japanese women. They were all over you. I mean, you must have ran through thousands.
Like literally ran through them.
Right? I mean, how much Asian vagina has been on the Monster's Monster?
Well,
or the Beast Beast?
One, they did make a Bob Sapp dildo, so that was very amazing. Which
nice.
Onto the wall, and then the girls backing themselves up onto it.
Mounted dildo.
And in other regards,
so you got laid more than you even knew about.
Always enjoys a little sushi after this dessert.
Oh, wow.
Did you get a piece of everyone that sold?
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
So there was a.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
It was crazy. So you had a Bob Sapp dildo. So they went up to you and they measured how big you were. Did they mold it?
They molded it, measured it, molded it, and they would stick it on the wall and back it on.
That is amazing.
Did you get royalties for each one?
I got royalties, but let me tell you what. One of the things that was pretty funny was that, the first thing you think is like, oh man, Bob, that's really cool. You get all these hot chicks, naked photos and backing up, and I was like, yeah, that's really cool. But you got to remember, we live in an era where also males do that stuff. So, like, my trainers would be taking all the hot chicks, and they'd be teasing me and saying, here's what you got today. And they'd be sending me all the guys backing up on it. So I'm like, you guys are nasty.
Oh my God! That's hysterical.
Yes.
That is hysterical.
Yes.
That is so funny.
Yes.
Now, I saw that one of your wrestling matches was against Razor Ramon. I used to love Razor Ramon. What was it like working with him?
Oh, he was awesome. I cannot say anything bad about him. It's one of those guys. Anytime you get in there with people that are legends, you just really would like to learn from them, learn how they work their craft, learn how they work the audience, see the angles, to get in and to see the high spots. And of course, the first thing I want to do is say, I would like to make this into my repertoire. So that's what I'm always going to do when I start stepping into against some of those legends. They kind of allow me to keep going in and to do a wonderful job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, your MMA. I mean, you started off just. I mean, Nogueira was your first loss, but you were killing Nogueira. You're right. Then you lost to Fajita with soccer kicks. That must have been rough.
That was pretty crazy. I mean, again, we're in an era where it's real fighting. So we were not allowed to do a lot of the things that now are devised for safety in the UFC. So UFC, I believe they have 27 rules, and of those 27 rules, 22 of them are allowed because they're supposed to protect the athlete. Okay, we don't have those when we're fighting in pride. So Vegeta could get on his Adidas shoes and he could kick in the back of the head, and he did, and the back of the head had the Adidas bruise mark right across my skull. Very funny.
Oh my God!
Wow.
And then when you fought Crow Cop. Barnett said that Crow Cop hits the hardest, one of the hardest guys that he's ever hit him. That must have been insane, right?
Yes, he hit me directly on the eyeball, and it broke the eyeball, so it completely cracked my eye socket in half. So I was very lucky that I was able to see again, thank goodness, and continue on. But yeah, he cracked my eye socket in half. I had an extreme orbital blowout from that match.
Ooh,
but then after that, you knocked out Chemo. Chemo's a tough guy. I mean, he was a legend. You knocked out Chemo.
Chemo.
Yep. You knocked out Chemo. You lost to Remy Bojanski.
Back and knocked out Chemo, and all of a sudden, you saw a man come in there who was knocking everybody out, man. That was done in the front of good old Mike Tyson. Now, he was just known.
Oh, I remember that.
The only celebrity in attendance. You had Dr. Dre, Michael Jordan. I mean, you had them all in there. I mean, you had a packed house with celebrities back then.
Wow.
It was really an amazing and an honor to do that.
Now, I remember Mike Tyson came into the ring, and he's like, sign the contract, big boy. Sign the contract. How close was that fight to be made, to actually being made, you and Mike Tyson?
Oh, that contract was real close. And the only thing that stopped it was just Japan. Just really had an issue with his past, some of his past endeavors, him being in jail and you coming back there. Some of these countries, they don't want you to have some. It's really hard to say, on what they will do and what they like to do and what they say. going to go with. So it's really confusing. So Japan just decided that they, for whatever reason, they just don't want it to happen in the country at that time.
Right. No, that was now some of your recent fights. People said that you kind of like went in there, didn't give it your all, or some people even think that you kind of threw them. What would you say to those people?
Yes, well, it's very easy. You know, it's very, you know, Bob Sapp is a business. Okay, in terms of business, you judge business by the measurement. The measurement of business is measured by success. How do you measure success in business? You measure that by revenue or in profit. Okay, so Bob Sapp, the business, does very well. So in the fighting business, I do very well. So if you're a lot of fighters, or I'm sorry, a lot of people, what I call them keyboard warriors, they love to sit back behind on the keyboard and say, well, you know, Bob is just going in and he's like taking dives and he's losing and he's destroying the sport. Now, the veterans call me and say, congratulations on such a successful business, and thank you very much, because the first thing they tell me is, hey, we want to pay you $40,000 to $50,000 to come in here and to maybe get a broke jaw, broke rib. And I tell them, no, that'll be $100. Because Bob Sapp does that kind of stuff. He ain't even getting touched. So we're way more than him. You have managed, Bob Sapp, to keep our integrity and to keep our value rising. As a lot of these other guys will go in there with broke noses and broken arms and broken necks for $1. You know, and it makes it very difficult for veterans to get any type of work, to pay any type of bills. So they're very
okay. So you're saying you're helping these guys out by saying, look, I'm taking no damage and getting $40,000. Imagine how much I would get if I actually got punched hard. So you're helping these guys out.
Oh, no, let me ask you this other question. What happens when you've got somebody that, let's say I'm 10-1 or 10-0. Do you actually think these overseas, because I fight all over the world right now, so I fight over 155 countries. So when you go to these overseas countries, do you think they have the money to be paying somebody that's a 10-1 professional fighter? You know what I mean? They're barely able to take $40,000 or $30,000. They're barely able to do that.
Right.
So I mean, are you going to go over there? Your neck broke, getting a back harness. You know what I mean? Come back with a detached retina for $40,000. And remember that's like 10 or 12 hours away.
Yeah, but Bob, I think people are upset because the Bob Sapp of old, the guy that fought Ernesto Hoost and Nogueira, would have destroyed these guys had he given it all 100%, right?
Yes, in Bob Sapp, you would have seen that again. K1 never had a beer budget with champagne dreams either when I was doing that. So, so there's a lot of people that have a tendency to think, hey, I got $1, let me get the best champagne in the house. There's no businesses that do that. Mercedes does not. You cannot go on Mercedes and say, hey, I would like to get the economic A class instead of the C class on my $1. It's just crazy. And when you look at the other backup, you've got everything that's being determined. When I fight, I put fight in seat. People go there to see me. Right. They go there to see the talent. They go there to see me perform in any way possible. They go there to talk to me. They go there to understand how the game works. How does entertain work? How do you get through all of this and can jump out and still be on top? That's what they're there to see. In other words, they're there to see. Why do people pay to see a loser? And they get more than enough of the money's worth.
Yeah, but don't you think, Bob? Don't you think, like, okay, if you actually tried, okay, and not even if you tried your hardest, you could have beaten some of the guys like Gregory Tony or Nishijima or Tayshaun or Rock Strucky or some of these, like, if you actually wanted to win, if you're like, all right, I'm going to go beat these guys, Florian Pavic, do you think that you could have beaten these guys if you actually tried your hardest?
And I believe that the contract stipulates that I'm abide by all my contract stipulations, and I also can tell you that I have done a very successful job because I am invited back. Now let's take a look at some of the other fighters that have victories that don't have as many people calling them back. Let's take Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley was kicking a whole bunch of butt, right? Kicking ass everywhere.
Yeah.
How come nobody was calling him around the world?
So you're saying that if you go out there and you win, you don't get a call back to fight. But if you go out there and you just kind of put on a good show and let the other guy win, then they keep calling you back. So you basically, do you think maybe that you merged professional wrestling and MMA without telling anyone?
Well, hey,
like, you're on the next level.
Only those who pay attention to what MMA is now with Brock and Ronda Rousey and everybody doing what I was doing back in the day know that, right? So I was the one.
But you're the only one. Now, did it
wrestling and MMA at the same time the whole time, and so now the Bob Sapp school is in effect doing this.
But you were doing wrestling, professional wrestling during MMA fights. Like you were like, all right, I'm gonna have my own script, and then which is kind of genius. In some ways, you're an innovator. In a lot of ways, actually, many ways. Now, what happened? Now, what happened, Bob, at this hotel? Because you were very upset about a hotel.
Yes.
What's going on?
Yes, let me tell you what's going on. So, I've always managed to stay on the ground. So a lot of times you see me, I've come back, I've helped pay some of these old professional wrestlers and professional fighters. I paid their money, some of their bills, if you will, when they're doing in the hard times. That's where a lot of the money comes from, some of the sponsorships and some of the other businesses that would love to donate to kind of keep that know the wrestlers and fighters sometimes go through a hard time. Well, this time, now as it's towards my end of my career, and as you know, I've been doing pretty well fighting-wise. All I know, I'm over in Uganda, Africa. Things are going fantastic. The kids are cheering my name. They're going crazy. I'm telling them about education and great water and clean schools. They're going crazy. We're going nuts. I stay at a 5-star luxury hotel resort, Lake Victoria Golf and Spa in Kampala, Uganda. And I am extorted. The girl that I'm with, she gets food poisoning, and she is kidnapped. They forced me to pay a bill from someone from Uganda when I was nowhere there in Uganda. And if you want to know where I was being inducted in the Husky Legend Hall of Fame. I actually was being inducted in the Husky Legend Hall of Fame while a fellow Ugandan was free to use Bob Sapp's online reservation to go crazy at the Little Victoria Golf Arena and Spa. It's crazy. Let's get it even crazier than this. I got it all on video camera. This is from a 5-star luxury resort. It's all on camera. It's all done. You got them doing major crimes. So what it tells you, and what it shows you, is the major corruption in the scandals that the people in Uganda have to go up with. No matter how much truth is out there, no matter how much you see it, you know all they do? It's really simple. All they do is just deny.
Now, did you end up paying the ransom for your kidnapped friend?
Yes, I did. I ended up having to pay it. You know, they did that. Thank goodness they did that via they took my card from me and swiped it and, you know, had me sign it and over and over and over and over and over again. You can hear me saying, "This is fraudulent. Are you nuts?" You know, I mean, my name's not even on the bill, for Christ's sake. So, I mean, I don't even know how they can even justify it. It was so bad that during when they were doing it, they literally had to like adjust bills for them to be on mine that were on his. I mean, it makes no sense. And just as this was all going on, there was the common sense that nobody wanted to ask was, listen, who signed the guy in?
No, of course. Now, did you go to the police or the fraud? I mean, did you go to the cops?
Corrupt policemen all over Uganda. You're not going to get anywhere in there. And the saddest part, and as you know, there's a lot of sad parts in Uganda. When I came out, was warning people with that stuff. When I kept coming out, was warning them. Nobody was really listening. Well, guess what? Now you got 2 other foreign nationals that have been killed and poisoned in Uganda hotel.
Greg, what do you think about this?
It sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is insane. I mean, what about the American police? Did you go to because you're an American being taken advantage of, and did you cancel the charges after you got the person back?
I did cancel. I immediately called Bank of America, told them what happened. Bank of America said, listen, let's just get you back over home, and we're going to handle it, and let's just we'll deal with it then. But we believe we'll deal with it then. Now,
wait, I thought you weren't there. I thought you were at the
has refunded all the cards, has refunded all the funds due to the fraud on the card, and guess what? The bank still claim. I'm sorry. The hotel still claims there was no fraud that was done. Now, we've got the bank.
Wait, but
we've got the hotel doing kidnapping, fraud. The only thing that no shows is the sexual assault where they threw the girl into the car that was sexually assaulted by their general manager, Mike, or whatever. We've got everything else. One of their own Ugandans who are filming the incident take place says this is kidnapping. Still, no one admitted. Now, it's on camera. We got the money back.
Was Kamala involved?
I mean, it's crazy.
Now, Bob, was there a guy named Kamala? Because there was a guy named the Ugandan headhunter named Kamala back in the day. Was he involved in this at all?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
okay. All right, good.
Yeah, from WWE, he was involved in this. No, he was not involved in this.
Yeah, no, okay. Okay, all right. So Kamala had nothing to do with this. Okay, because I remember he was the Ugandan headhunter. He had like a big cane or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Bob, you're safe. Listen, you're safe. That's all that matters. Okay. You're out of Uganda.
Yes.
I don't think he was ever in real danger.
Your girl's safe. And don't stay at the hotel. Is it the Best Western? What is it? Is it the Motel 6? What's the name of the hotel?
It seems like it's called the Lake Victoria Serena Golf and Resort. Okay, resort.
I'm not going there.
And when you see this place, it may look like it's amazing, but when you start looking through on TripAdvisor, I mean, they found bugs in their food. They found,
Yeah, that's terrible. The whole kidnapping thing probably. Yeah.
It's bad. It's terrible. It's bad.
Yeah. They don't have kidnapping in the description of the hotel, right? They have like a. Listen, so I'm not staying there. I was gonna stay there this weekend. weekend actually, but now I'm canceling my trip to Uganda. Yeah, I have a show at the Ha-Ha, so I can't go.
Right.
But listen,
Stay away from there.
who do you want to fight next aside from Mike from the hotel? Who's your next fight going to be?
The next fight is going to be against a man by the name of, I want to say his name is Orashu, okay? That comes September 30th via Rising in Japan. So you'll see at Rising in Japan September 30th.
Yes, awesome. And now, what do you know about this guy?
Well, he is a first time. Guess where he's from? He's from Egypt.
Okay.
So it's a Bob Sapp African month here. So he's from Egypt. This is his first time fighting MMA. So he's getting trained by one of the great best, Josh Garnett. So we'll see what he come up with. So
no, after you knock him out, you should give him one of your Bob Sapp dildos. You should give him a dildo after you knock him out. Give him one of the Bob Sapp.
That's right. Give him one of those. So, and then in the upcoming, right after that, we're looking at going off and heading down a big fight in Senegal, Africa. So look to see that one coming up next. And then I think the Bob Sapp should be able to kind of hang it up. There's so many continents left that I've never been to. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's got
absolutely.
There's only 196 countries if you include Taiwan, and I've been to 125 of them. I think the world's pretty much taken care of.
Yeah, and you've lost in all of them. But listen, Bob. No. I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you. Listen, Bob Sapp, you're the man. Thank you for all the years of entertainment. I love your movies, by the way. The Longest Yard,
Blood and Bone,
Right.
Big Stan. Big Stan was my favorite. That was you and Rob Schneider make a great team.
Great.
And thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on the podcast, Bob. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
All right.
Take care.
All right. You got it. Thank you.
All right, that was Bob Sapp. That show took a weird turn in the interview, but
I'm awake, I swear.
There were parts where he was laughing, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like the funny part. And it was very difficult. I was just like, I don't know what to say here. I don't.
Don't worry, he'll take over for
oh
you.
my God. So what do you got coming up, Greg?
Well, I already told you. We already went over mine. What do you got coming up?
Me, I will be at the Parlor Washington in Tacoma.
Oh, that's fun.
Next Thursday night. Then on Friday and Saturday, I'm in the Blue Room in Springfield, Illinois. Blue Room Comedy Club. After that, I'm in Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then September, I think the 20th, 21st, I'm in Rochester at the Carson Comedy Club with Jeremy Piven. Last week of September, I am in Vancouver, Canada. Laugh Lines Comedy Club. And then in October, I am in Des Moines, Iowa at the Funny Bone, followed by Des Moines the next week with Piven, and Kansas City and a couple other places. And you could download my new CD, Adam Hunter is Still Broke. It's on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify. Not SoundCloud, Spotify. Also, if you shop on Amazon, go to adamhunter.com first, then click on the Amazon banner, then get whatever you want. And also, if you want an MMA Roasted shirt, I got those for sale as well. So, CB, anything? What do you got?
Not a whole lot, man. I'll be in San Jose at the end of September for Bellator, and
that sounds fun.
Other than that, Graffiti Palace Tattoo, North Hollywood. Check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Mention MMA Roasted. We'll give you 10% off whatever tattoo you want. Come on in and check us out.
Well, thank you, Alex Hernandez. Thank you, Bob Sapp. Thank you, guys. Have a great week.
Trap songs trap dansen. Түүний сонсдог хөгжим дур булаан. Даадаж дуулан дур булаа мууруулаа.